Jeff Pettigrew with ARAWC, and I'm sitting down with Jerry Murphy. Jerry is the Executive Vice President of the AmWIMS Brokerage Group, and he's here to talk about the insurance market for Texas injury benefit programs. Jerry, it's good to have you here.
Thank you, Jeff. Pleasure to be here.
Jerry, tell me how this works with respect to the insurance coverage.
Jeff, one of the reasons that most employers seek to go the elective option route is because there is such a mature insurance marketplace today. The protections are there. The fact that when they choose not to purchase workers' compensation, they become subject to legal liability, that all the common law defenses that prevent lawsuits under work comp are lost. They're given up. And as a result, they do have this real liability exposure. It is there. And the insurance companies understand that and want to aid and defend that employer against any of those actions, while at the same time working to bring resolution to the needs of the injured employee as well.
Give me an example of a really serious case.
Most recently, we had a situation where a disgruntled employee came into the work site and unfortunately killed several of their coworkers. It was just an employee, a female employee, working for a company for a number of years, whose husband was also there at the site at the time, working for the same employer, who came in with no prior indications at all of any disgruntled situation or told her husband that I have some problems, just came in and killed two fellow employees. That situation is horrendous. It's horrible.
Well, but is that really in the course and scope of employment from the standpoint of work?
That is the big question. She was not on the clock at the time. She had access to the facility. She was able to be there. There is a no handgun policy in place right now.
But there's still possible exposure to the employer.
Always, and they needed to respond. Is that course and scope? Am I covered under workers' compensation? What happens? In the non-subscriber world, which this employer is choosing to cover their employees through, we are responding with complete care for all fellow employees regarding their mental anguish needs, the response to individual families themselves for their care and love of their lost loved ones, and also to address the issue of legal liability.
So what did they do in this particular situation?
Well, we are paying out the families their appropriate death benefits and survivor benefits under the benefit plan, for sure. We are affording the employer a defense against the action of those family members against their employer, saying that they should have known or could have known or should have warned against such an event occurring. We had a situation where an employee sued their employer for vibration incurred while in the sleeper of a tractor-trailer truck. He was a co-driver sleeping in the truck and claimed, hey, over the years I've been in there and it's been vibrating from the road, it's affecting my brain, and sued the employer. So that's the kind of wild kind of litigation that can arise.
From anything,
The market is there to respond, and we have and do respond for them.
So instead of spending years of litigation over a case, which all the money goes off to attorneys and so forth, they're just stepping up to the plate under these programs and saying, you know what, in the end, it makes a lot of sense, not only to the people who are affected, but also from an economic standpoint, we take care of everybody right up front, that we don't have to worry about that situation because there is unlimited liability, correct, with respect to the injury benefit program.
Another example is involving intoxication. We had an employee who unfortunately was a driver of a truck who went to go hook up his trailer to his tractor, was behind the tractor at the time, dealing with the trailer, and the tractor rolled back, pinning him against the trailer, and unfortunately he succumbed and died. Well, upon the autopsy and required by law, DOT requirements, they did a blood analysis and determined that the individual had alcohol in his bloodstream. As you know, under workers' compensation, you have an absolute bar to recovery if you're under the influence, and that's a major issue. In this situation, the employer themselves had a benefit plan that had that exclusion, but we've had the carrier turn around and provide survivor benefits because the family depends upon that individual. That family was not drinking with their father that night before. Whatever the situation was, we want to make sure that the family was taken care of, and we are providing those benefits to them.
And nobody sued anybody?
No one, well, they're represented by counsel, but they have not sued the employer. The employer took the steps immediately to bring the family out there, show them what happened, how it happened, what all the steps that they have taken, their training, and the man had been with the company for a number of years, and showed them we didn't do anything wrong. It was just an error. But we're here to take care of you as a family. We want to make sure you receive a constant income for your family. They provided a burial benefit. They took care of all that for them, and they're looking after that family. That's the cultural aspect that I think is important people don't understand. This is a claim that's going to be handled by professionals under an injury benefit plan, like a health plan. They're there to provide a response, a service from the moment that occurs. And I understand there's a statistic of over 100 claims that are valued and paid in excess of $1 million. Well, that indicates that yes, I personally have been involved in a $12 million unfortunate injury to an employee. So yes, there are large claims that have been resolved and closed.
Well, that addresses the issue some critics have, saying, well, you just dodge your liability with respect to injury benefit programs. But that's not true at all.
Not at all. I mean, you can't have the number of successful programs out there, the breadth of the industry and the scope of industry served without saying that we have not perfected, we're always improving. And I love this opportunity to be with you today to speak about this, because it truly, for those who spend time and really understand this marketplace, they'll see there's real value to what is being done for all involved.
That's great, Jerry. Thank you for sharing that perspective.
My pleasure, Jeff.
For more information, please visit ARAWC.org.